Joining us now on the Megacast is Lindsay Drouillard. She is an equine expert and the founder, president, and executive director of Therapy Ranch. Lindsay, thanks for being with us today.
Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Appreciate having you on. So your business particularly pertains to a form of therapy using horses. Tell us about that and why horses to provide this form of therapy.
Thank you. Actually, horses are a very special type of animal that are prey animals. So they tend to be very sensitive and reactive to the humans that we work with. They are quick to respond and quick to relax and go back to a state of relaxation and eating grass.
And so tell us a little bit about the ins and outs of equine assisted therapy and how people can benefit from this form of therapy.
The ins and outs are that it's a team approach, and we are certified in this type of therapy. I work with a certified mental health therapist, and we work out in the pasture with the horses. This type of therapy is effective because it works so fast. It works to decrease a person's feeling of anxiety and depression. People enjoy this type of therapy. They like to be outside, and it's innovative and experimental, where they actually get to go out into nature and to be with the animals.
And the horses, you mentioned they're very intuitive and they're very interactive and sensitive in that way. Do they also see a benefit from their interactions in this?
You know, horses are a lot like humans. They're very social animals. So they're quite curious. They like to interact with humans. They need us for their food and their shelter. And they teach us in all these methods by showing us how to be resilient and to react to their stimuli in their environment and then go back to being calm. So they do enjoy the contact for sure with the humans.
So in terms of people that do engage in this kind of therapy, who can benefit from equine assisted therapy?
Everyone can benefit to this type of work. We provide a psychotherapy, which is an actual therapy session. And we also incorporate equine assisted learning as well. The format is the same, but this can be more of a group activity, a learning activity. So anyone can really benefit from this type of work with horses in nature.
So how can people sign up for receiving this kind of therapy through your organization? And what sort of therapy opportunities are there between yourself, your psychotherapists, as well as the horses?
So anyone can contact us through our website or email. We have active social media with Facebook and Instagram. And we can take people's phone calls and emails. It's not a problem at all. The sessions are typically individual sessions. So think of it as a therapy session, but it's just outside and horses are incorporated. Or we provide group activities as well. We are hosting a youth retreat on Sunday, October 23rd. And we have a sign up on our website.
Their website is eagala.org for more information.
It's actually therapyranch.org.
Oh, it's therapyranch.org. My
Yes.
apologies. That is, my apologies. That website is for the Equine Assisted Growth and Learning Association. Theirs is equinetherapy.org for more information. We're joined by Lindsay Drouillard. She is the founder, president, and executive director of Therapy Ranch on today's edition of the Megacast. And so going back to some of the methods that are used in equine assisted therapy, what are some of those interactions that people will have with the horses that can be so therapeutic for them in a number of different ways?
Mm-hmm. So some of the activities that we provide each session is typically built around an individual's needs, but sometimes we start with connection and boundaries. So activity we may have a youth do is go out in the pasture and build an actual boundary and work to keep the horse inside or outside of that boundary. A lot of people realize that healthy relationships work with healthy boundaries.
More information can be found therapyranch.org. Therapyranch.org is the website to learn more about the programs and get in contact with them. They're also a 501c3 nonprofit organization founded in 2019. What are some of the ways that people out in the community, maybe they're not in need of this kind of therapy, but they want to help your organization provide this therapy to other people as a nonprofit? What are some ways they can help?
We are also a part of sharedetroit.com or .org, and we have a page there on Share Detroit. People can volunteer to spend time to help us get ready for therapy sessions or a group retreat by moving horses around or helping set up for the day. We are, of course, taking donations because we are a 501c3 organization. We're currently raising funds for a small coverall barn. And this will allow us to provide services through all the types of weather we receive in Michigan and to stay outside in nature.
We're joined by Lindsay Drouillard, the president, founder, and executive director of Therapy Ranch on today's edition of the Megacast. Lindsay, another couple minutes with you today before we'll say goodbye. Anything else that we should know at this point in time about Therapy Ranch, or anything more you'd like to tell us about your upcoming retreat?
We are currently taking signups for the youth retreat, ages 7 to 12 years of age. And we would love to hear from you if you're interested in reaching out and connecting in any way at all.
More information, again, can be found on the website therapyranch.org, therapyranch.org, or call them 313-269-2174, 313-269-2174. Lindsay, thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate having you on. More information, again, therapyranch.org for all that. And you may have noticed with today's packed show, we didn't have a chance to go through some of our headlines on our website, civiccentertv.com, on our local news page. Those are still up there. Call it a Megacast Extra today. If you want to see what's making news in the COVID-19 front and beyond, go to our local news site on our webpage, civiccentertv.com, to learn more information. Some of the things that are making news today include, as we talked a little bit about earlier with Jason Brown from the Brown Report, gas prices in the state of Michigan are on the way up again. They raised 13 cents per gallon in the last week to $3.94 per gallon. That is from an article from the Detroit Free Press. The most expensive gas prices on average in the state of Michigan are $4.02 per gallon in Marquette, here in the Metro Detroit area, where gas is averaging out about $4 per gallon. And then in Ann Arbor, $3.96 per gallon. The least expensive gas in the state, you're going to have to do a little bit of traveling out of our local area. Traverse City, $3.84 per gallon. Grand Rapids, $3.87 per gallon. And in the state capital of Lansing, $3.89 per gallon. Now, AAA is saying some of the reasons behind why gas prices are on the rise over the last week, after we've recently seen gas prices actually continue to go down at a pretty consistent clip. It's as a result of global oil prices and also tightening supply at refineries. In fact, here in the U.S., just not too far from our local area, a deadly refinery fire happened in Toledo last week, or near Toledo, and forced a BP facility to temporarily shut down. Whenever that happens, of course, there's a little bit less supply in the region. Therefore, regional prices tend to go up, as well as a slight marginal increase in other areas around the U.S. So that's making headlines. Also, pretty interesting election news, as the state legislature is considering providing local clerk's offices with the ability to pre-process some ballots before the day of the election. We saw that happen in 2020 during the presidential election, and it was something that was very helpful for clerk's offices to get those results in speedily and move through getting those ballots, particularly absentee ballots, counted efficiently on the day of. They pre-process them, which means that they get them ready for counting. They don't count any votes until the day of course, but that brings up that process. The state's Senate Majority Leader Mike Shirkey, a Republican from Clark Lake, first called for additional pre-processing just a week after the 2020 election, and clerks have been clamoring for that for a while. Great article from Bridge, Michigan on this and where that effort may be going, as well as more articles, as of course we mentioned, from the Detroit Free Press, and another article from the Oakland Press about some additional funding for new safety features on the Clinton River Trail. That is going to do it for today's edition of the Megacast. I want to thank all of our guests who joined us on this edition of the show. I want to invite you to watch all these interviews and our full episode if you're just tuning in or want to rewatch some of the interesting conversations we've had today on civiccentertv.com/megacast, where you'll find more information on all of our partnering stations in your local area as well. Big thank you to our crew, also Calvin Brown and Jared Clark at the studio of My Michigan TV at Master Control today, as well as our producer, the king of television, Larry Nyland. That does it for this Tuesday edition of the Megacast. We'll return tomorrow morning with a new edition of the show.